What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm sorry that it's taken me 2 months to upload another video, but I hope what I have for you guys today makes up for that because I'm super excited for the video that I'm gonna be making today. Also, I don't know if I'm really looking forward to it just because it's gonna be the first time that I do anything like this, and I am gonna start this process completely alone. It's gonna be a learning experience for me just because I've never done this. I did kind of talk over a game plan with my buddy Gio, which you've seen on the channel before, on the process that I'm going to follow here, and I am basing a lot of what I'm doing off of another video that I've seen. I'm actually going to follow the exact same kind of process that they did just because I think it's going to be the easiest and kind of quickest way to go along with it. But I am going to show you guys a lot of what I do. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be a detailed like step-by-step video, but I'm going to show a lot of like kind of where I find things to be a little bit more difficult and what you can do to kind of troubleshoot those things and make it a little bit quicker for you. If I'm talking really quick, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make this a super long video. I know it's going to be kind of long just because it's a long process, and I'm not sure yet if I'm going to make it 2 parts or just one full video, which would be like 20-30 minutes hopefully. But if you see a bunch of cuts, it's because I can't flip my camera. I am recording this off of my phone, but I am going to be showing you kind of the setup that I have and everything that came with my kit, so you'll be seeing that in the next clip. But without further ado, let's get into this. So here's everything that comes with the kit, and I did get mine off of Bag Riders. So this one was for my 2020 Infiniti Q60 Redsport. What I didn't realize till yesterday that we opened it, and Gio kind of was like, dude, let's find out if it does or not. The rears actually don't come with the heads on them. I'm gonna have to use them from the existing suspension on the car, which is gonna be kind of sketchy. You'll see later on in this video why, because if you've ever messed with it, I'm gonna have to rent a tool basically where I can compress the spring to get that off. And if you don't do that correctly, it can actually shoot out and you can get hurt. So hopefully that doesn't happen here today. But basically, here's everything laid out. I'm not super familiar with like, you know, the exact names of everything, but basically I ended up going with a dual compressor setup for this and a 4-gallon tank. I didn't go with any suppressors for anything, so how it is, how it's gonna sound. Basically, have all my harnesses, all my air lines, everything you're gonna need as far as even this tool to be cutting your air lines so that you don't damage anything. Here's my manifold, and basically, I'm not gonna spend too much time explaining everything. Let's go ahead and let me show you. From what I learned from the video, to get to the existing suspension on this car, I'm actually gonna have to be basically gutting out this entire trunk, just because I'll show you here in a bit. There's actually some perfect spots to run your airlines in this, and I'm going to be running all my airlines and everything through the inside of this car, but I have to first begin by gutting out this rear section of the car, but it's actually surprisingly easy. I'll show you. I found out that everything in here is basically clipped in, so don't really have to unbolt anything. But let me go ahead and get started, and I'll show you guys kind of when I got it pretty close to being empty. I went ahead and removed all the liners from the back of the car right here, and there is this like foam padding underneath it. Go ahead and take that out too. So you're gonna want to take off, there's 3 clips on this side and 2 back here to actually get this off right here to access the other vent like this, which I kind of found out is the perfect entrance just because it has a flap right here to run your airlines down to the rears. The same thing is on this side, but you have to remove this to get to it, and you're actually gonna have to remove it all from right here as well because it is tucked underneath right here. I will say be careful. This bottom piece, I didn't realize it's connected, which is not a big issue. I can always glue it back, but it's connected to another foam pad in there that's kind of like these. I think I did separate them, but shouldn't be too big of an issue. It just sits in there anyways. Yeah, be careful if you're not trying to damage anything. So I was actually able to get it off without having to completely remove this. It is clipped in there just the same as everything on the inside of the car. Just tug at it and you'll hear it pop. If you want to remove it, you can, but like I said, it's probably gonna take me longer than a day, so I don't want to leave it to where I can't close my trunk because I don't want anything getting in here. But here's the other flap, which this one's a lot more accessible than this side right here. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I don't gotta remove this, so for now I'm gonna keep it on there. Let's go ahead and move to the inside of the car we also have to take a bunch of stuff off. So here's the part that I actually found kind of funny. To get these seats off right here, it's literally 2 clips that's holding them in. You literally grab it right here from the middle and you tug up and you'll hear it pop. Same thing on that side, but if you see, it just comes right up. And I'll show you guys, that's where the clips were, right there. And it's down here. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna have to remove the side right here. Same kind of deal. I don't know if I'll show you guys that process, but this right here is coming off as well. And you are gonna have to lift this off, but it's kind of complicated to actually completely take off because of the seatbelt. So we're not gonna completely remove it. Oh, actually, no, I'm mistaken. This one doesn't come off. It's gonna be later on. It's gonna be that one back there. And like I said, you're not gonna want to completely remove it because of that seatbelt, but it is kind of in the way of where you're gonna need to get to back here. All right, so I got the seat out and I sat it over there for now. You do want to remove this trim piece right here, which, like I said, very simple. You just pull at it and it comes off. Put that to the side. Now you're gonna want to remove some of this weather seal right here so that you can begin to take this part off. Same kind of deal. You're gonna get in here and you're gonna tug at it in the direction you want it out. So I'm gonna be in there pulling it towards me. This should come out, and you're gonna want to do the same thing on the opposite side. And then after that, to actually get the back end of this right here, you're gonna want to put those seats down, just because it is kind of in the way of it getting out. And then we'll proceed with this top section over here. All right, so just be careful when you're pulling towards yourself. It is tucked a little bit underneath this part right here. You don't want to bend that. And when you do get it out, you're gonna have to unplug this cable right here that's actually connected to your speaker. So just be careful when you're pulling that out. And it is clipped all the way back here. And the reason you put your seat down is because when it's up, you're holding on to this, so you can't really get it out. But there's some clips down here as well. Just pull towards you to hear it, and you feel that it's loose enough to kind of pull up. But it's very simple to undo that clip. You just, it's one of those, you know, you press it, pull kind of deal. But yeah, I just realized there's gonna be a bunch of more just clip-ons right here that you're gonna remove to get it out. It's tight space just because it is a coupe. But yeah, what I realized too, I'm probably not gonna record till I get to that point, but basically when you're removing this part in the video that I saw, you want to be very careful because you'll end up creasing this right here when you're trying to bend it, and it is very difficult to get back to normal. Almost impossible actually. But yeah, just be very careful with that unless you're gonna be comfortable with that part being messed up after. I just realized on the passenger side, be careful with that long clip right there, because when I was pulling it out, I about fucking bent it just trying to pull that out. But I didn't realize that the other side had it too, but for some reason that one came out more smoothly. I heard something fall. I don't think I broke a clip, but there's something in there. But yeah, we're getting along, basically gutting this car out. I feel like I'm building it, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna be honest, I did not, whenever I decided, you know what, let me bag the car, I did not think I was gonna have to do all this, to be honest. But I mean, anyways, even if I decided to go with coilovers, it was gonna be the same thing. To get to your suspension, you have to get under all of this right here. And it's kind of dumb as to why all this has to come out just to get one bracket out. And I'll show you guys what bracket that is, but. All right, so this part took me a little bit to get this trim right here off of here. It had a couple clips, and then same deal as everything else. You're gonna wanna, you know, tug and pull, get some clips off. I'm gonna have to follow by getting off this felt liner up here. Just be careful. Remember, like I said, you don't wanna bend it. But I did realize I didn't have to completely take it off, but I did remove the clips along this side right here because that piece that I just took off was kind of held on to the same clips as that. So you are gonna have to remove that part. But it's moving along. I think I started probably an hour ago and it's 1:22. Let's just keep moving along. I don't want to spend too much time. I know I'm trying to make a video too, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not trying, since I don't have that much time. I am trying to just move along as quick as I can. but I am being cautious because I do not want to damage anything. Like I said, look, there's a lot of cables along the inside here. You just want to be careful when you're working around these. You don't want to mess anything up because you don't want something like this to turn into something even more expensive. So do take your time, but just be careful. All right, so one thing that I didn't see in that video that I watched, which was low-key kind of annoying, eventually you're gonna have to take this part off where you have all this trim covering not only your battery, but this section right here. And I'll show you guys here in a bit. You're gonna wanna take this off right here to leave an opening to where you're gonna run basically your harnesses and everything that's gonna connect to the battery, but also your air lines. I do know you're gonna have to, like I did on this side, remove and pull out part of this, not completely remove it because of your seat belt, but same kind of deal. You're popping stuff out. I'm gonna spend some time on this just because I'm not gonna lie, dude, it's a tight space. I'm a taller guy, so it's not comfortable, but no one said it was gonna be easy, right? To get this off, in the video that I saw, it was a little, I think it was an older model because this right here looked completely different. They were able to actually lift it up right here. I wasn't actually able to get this off the way that they did in the video. There's like one big clip right here that I was tugging and it was not coming out. So instead of like getting frustrated and breaking it, I just decided to work around it. I was able to lift enough to get this out. Those are holding on in the end right there. And then there was a cable connected under here. Well, not a cable, this right here, these little two harnesses was grabbing onto this right here. It was grabbing onto this, which goes in here. Aside from that, I didn't realize what it was, but it's my reverse light, or my brake light, I mean. I couldn't get this to come out, this little clip. I was frustrated. It took me 30 minutes. It wouldn't come out, so I just decided to unscrew it. It had two little screws holding on to it. It ended up working out fine. But finally, this right here is what you want to get to. This is actually an airbag, so I went ahead and disconnected my battery because of that. You got two, I think, what's it, 3 bolts right here holding this on, and then 1, 2, 3, and it's, what is it, 2, 3. So 1 in there, 2 right here that you're gonna want to get off. These are actually the only reason we took this off, because you want to get this guard off, or harness, whatever you want to call it, and this one off right here to actually reach down to get your struts. But let me continue this, not waste any more time, and I'll catch you guys up here in a bit. All right, little update. Took off all the screws that are holding in this airbag just so it can come down. That was the main one that would need to come off, but obviously all of them, so it can move down and give enough space for this to come off. They're all 10 millimeters so far. I know these are gonna be, no, those are the same too. But yeah, all of that just to get right here. How annoying is that? But yeah, basically this got in the way. What I said I could work around earlier got in the way. It was annoying. That same clip that I told you would not come off still didn't come off. So I've realized that this was held on, like literally tied together with a screw, like a simple just screw, which I don't know if I could show it, but it's in this corner right here. Essentially, I just unscrewed that, which I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a bitch to screw back in just because of the angle and the glass being in the way right here. But yeah, I cannot get this off. That green clip you see right there, it got to a point where it was too sketchy. I felt like I was gonna break it, and I really don't want to. But we're finally getting to the part where I can get all this taken off and then begin running my lines. I'm kind of frustrated that I haven't been able to do that yet, but we're getting there. It's coming along. It's now, I believe, 3 something, maybe 3:30 p.m. just to get an idea of how much of a bitch this is. But like I said, to be honest, if somebody with a Q60 were to hit me up and like, dude, will you bag my car, help me bag my car after this, I most likely am gonna say no. I don't think I'd want to do this again. Even if I get to selling the car eventually, I I might sell it with the bags, to be honest, because to do all this, I don't know. To me, I'm not enjoying it. Am I learning? Yes, but to be honest, I'm not enjoying it. Also just because it's for myself. But like I said, I'm saving a ton, to be honest. Doing this on my own. All right, so let me catch you up with what I've done now. So basically, this cap right here, which you got to be very careful with. I think I might have damaged it, but it should still be good. So these two flaps are kind of what's holding it, but this goes right here and it's positioned at an angle. I didn't realize it. So it has the arrow, right? I saw the arrow, but I thought all three corners had this thing right here, but it turns out this one is not. It's just such a terrible angle to hit it at because it's pointed at the top and you got no room. But if you can get anything in there, you should be able to pop it out a lot easier than I did. Recommend prying tools, definitely. They've come in handy in this process. But now that's opened up a hole right here, which is essentially where I'm gonna run my airlines along here and down to the front, and also what's gonna get connected to the battery here. So by the way, I put tape on this because I kind of fucked it on the other side because I don't have enough room in this garage. So you see it's touching right there. Basically I had to undo from the inside this right here, which there's two screws. They're just in the worst possible position ever. If you see right here, I kind of messed that up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I can fix it. It's kind of like slides in this right here where that screws at. This right here, this was the tool, basically a mini wrench for this. Allowed me to be able to get in there because one of those screws is way back in there. I did have to reconnect the battery a little bit so I can move the seat back because I had it all the way forward and I had no room to work with it. But I'm about to pick the car up and get the wheels off, and I can get started on running these lines and getting these struts taken off. So where I'm at now, I got the car on stands and I'm about to take off the wheels and just make sure all the openings are how they're supposed to be, and then start running the lines. I'm ready to get started here. Ready to be like this guy later today. But let's keep going. All right, so they were all 12s on both sides, so got those taken out. Now we're gonna go outside and try to push it down. Like I said, once you push it down, these should drop in and then, you know, get out of the holes and go against the wall. Then it's all about hammering it. So I had to get my sister to kind of help me with this part. She's recording this part for me, but basically I already got this side popped out, but I had her kind of look in there because I couldn't tell how close it was to popping out. But literally I was holding on to this and right here and having to push down with all my weight, and I had to make myself heavier than I am because it was not going. And I was just asking her to see how far it was from them actually coming out. So now they are out. The next step here, which let me explain real quick, just so you know, before you even start the process of pushing it down, you have this bolt, which is a 17 that actually holds your strut down here. You want to take that out, and then there's a sensor that's connected right here. You want to unplug that as well. I kind of tucked it back there just so it doesn't get torn here in this process, because I hit it a little bit already, but I remembered to record because I hadn't done it. You're gonna want to use a hammer to put against your strut right here, and then a rubber mallet and hit out. So like I was saying before, it's gonna go out now that you've pushed it down from the inside. Now, just be a little cautious if you're doing this. It is gonna bounce up once it releases. It's a little sketch, but it's better than the other alternatives, which was trying to compress that spring to easily get it out. But let's see this real quick. Alright, it's coming out. I'm kind of worried it's gonna hop up. There you go. And then you just kind of wiggle it out. Here we go. I need a rubber it out, honestly. There we go. kind of be careful because you're gonna have to reuse this part right here to put it on the bags themselves. But right now, sorry, I'm gassed. I've been at this all day. I did get my dad to rent the tool that I'm gonna need to compress the spring and actually get this header out. So once I get that going, I'm gonna take out the fronts first, which, like I said before, 3 bolts up here, 3 bolts on the other side. This one should be a lot more easier than the rears. But I'll catch you guys back up when I get to compressing the spring. All right, I got my dad helping me with this part. He came back with the tool he rented here that's gonna be to compress this spring. I'm gonna show you how it's done. We already did the one on this side over here. Let me go ahead and show you this process right here. It's the yep.
Wait. Okay, that's just.
You gotta do each side just so it doesn't.
Did it more.
That's...
Did it more. No, sorry. Did it. That's it.
I should bring it down enough to be able to take this nut out right here, which is a 17 as well. I'll catch you guys up when we get that off, just because this could still come off if we aren't careful. If you guys have done this before and you guys are aware of how exactly to do this part, it tells you to, what's it called, torque the shock rod nut right here, right? But the thing is, it obviously spins and you need to have an Allen in the middle, right? So trying to figure out how we'd be able to torque it to spec. We did it hand tight and then a little bit with the impact, but that's as much as we could get it because it was not grabbing with the wrench here. But I'm hoping, I think that's what we ended up doing, or Gio ended up doing on his, because it just wasn't working. It wasn't clicking the way it was supposed to, so we just ran it with hand tight and hoping that holds. But it does have a new nut that you're gonna use on here. I decided to use and a spacer. All right, so came to the front struts and I forgot that up here it's actually 3 14s and then 1 19 that you're gonna need. And then the top is still the same. There's still just 3 12s, which I took off already, but that one's pretty simple as far as getting out. The only thing is you do have some cables here in the way. Just be careful when you're taking that out that you don't mess any of them up. But yeah, I'm getting tired, I'll be honest with you guys, but I'm feeling good. I'm learning a lot, and it's just been quite an experience, actually. Honestly, I hope it's like most things where when you're putting stuff together, it goes by a lot quicker once we get everything going here.